welcome to our presentation. Our group is Group 3, and our presentation today is about supply chain management. Next slide, please. So our members include with Nguyễn Minh Hải, Phạm Thị Thanh Ngân, Trần Minh Châu, Dư Thị Kim Anh, Nguyễn Hiệp Thức, Phạm Văn Tấn, Chu Bùi Tài, and Vũ Việt Hoàng. It's me. With our contents today, we'll present about the definition of supply chain management. What advantage when you're using supply chain management in your business will bring you? How supply chain management will drive competitive advantage? How to build supply chain management as a competitive advantage? So first of all, we'll go into the part of the definition of supply chain management. Um, Supply chain management is the management of the flows of the goods and services that includes all the process that transform raw materials into final products. For example, when you are creating a product, for example, a car, the materials that will be that you use to create that car, how you govern it, how you store it, where do you store it, how will the strategy that to move the material from the starting point to the end point to create the final product is what we call supply chain management. It also involves the active streamlining of a business's supply side activities to maximize the customer value and gain a competitive advantage in the marketplace. So we'll go into the next part. It's what kind of advantage of supply chain management will bring to us when we use it in a business or in our company. So the benefits of applying supply chain management in your business are quite a lot. An effective supply chain gives business an advantage in competition among other similar companies. The implementation of supply chain management can help business owners to reduce waste, reduce the extra costs, and minimize the delays in the delivery time. Because nowadays, time we are wasting many kind of resources, and time is also one of them. And when you wasting time, you are also wasting the money because money will lose value over time. The product can lose its quality over time. So reduce all of the costs is the job of supply chain management, and how it have so much. Some of the best advantage will be of supply chain management. I will be introduced in the next part, which I think are four major points. The assurance of the better quality. Recently, like many big companies have relocated their operation to smaller countries in an effort to cut down the manufacturing costs. This has led to a decrease in the product quality. And supply chain management includes some important techniques like the quality management system to help you to keep the quality of the goods at its highest point. The second factor is the optimization of inventory. This is also known fact that there are different type of customer who prefer to buy your products differently, right? Some of them buy a single product, while some buy a lot of them, like buying them in a bulk. Nevertheless, if your inventory falls too low because the lack of attention, you have to spend extra resources to bring everything in order. An effective supply chain management will determine these situations and update your stock promptly. Then the third factor is the improved shipping. E-commerce is growing globally, and buyers have many more options to order products ever than before. They need their orders to be delivered as soon as possible. It doesn't matter whether the parcel is small or big. Store owners, customers should store owners should ensure quick and accurate shipping. Supply chain management system help business to determine the best way to ship while reducing costs to the lowest possible level. And lastly is the decrease in the risk. Uh, because supply chain management will allow business to identify the critical risk factor in the organization or with the supplier, the management is able to mitigate the issues and potential risks in the quality of the product, operation safety, and manage both internal and external failures. Moreover, with supply chain management, businesses are exposed to many unwanted legal problems. So that's the end of the advantage which supply chain management can bring you. And now I will bring us to the next part is how supply chain management drives competitive advantage. Um, so, mm, in today complex connected world, the supply chain is more and more recognized as a key sort of competitive advantage and differentiation. Companies like tries to build powerful supply chains that will enable them to get their products to market faster, more efficiently than before. So, what are some of the key factors that the company can compete over when they're building their supply chain management? Is what we are researching, and from what we have learned through our research and through our lessons, I think one of these points are logistic. Building strong logistic management is necessary both for in-house production or outsourcing. Logistic management covers distribution, effective storage, managing logistic costs, and ensuring product visibility. For outsourcing companies, there's a lot more work when it comes to logistics. There are IoT device, Internet of things that can now keep companies updated on their exact location, time of their supplies. Outsourcing firms have to leverage on the relationships with their logistics firms to reduce costs, manage product distribution, and influence the timeliness of the distribution. So when it's come to logistic, company usually have like two main choice, which are for you can see here in this our slide is the integrated logistic and use the logistic that was provided by third parties logistic providers. So I'll go into the first part, the integrated logistic, and what advantage we will have when we use it. So integrated logistic is that you use the warehouse, the strategy that created by your employees in your company to do the logistic. And as you can see, by doing so, it's very resource intensive, and integrated logistic offer up some big advantage. Manage, like for example, like you are able to manage the distribution fleet to ensure rapid collection and delivery of goods to downstream. It also ensure more safer and secure, environmentally appropriate storage for all raw materials, ingredients, and products. Great, it also have greater visibility of goods whenever they are in the storage or the distribution system, because the customer will be able to see your warehouse and the logo, the brand's view. They will have more knowledge about your products. You also don't have to pay unnecessary overheads that increase the profit of outsourced logistic company. So on the other hand, what what kind of advantage do you have when you use third party logistic providers? You'll be able to use the warehouse and storage flexibility to adjust storage and distribution needs in line with customer demand. You also can move goods around the third-party providers' warehouse and distribution network, so they're closer to customer. And because they are third-party logistic providers, they are the pro at their job. They have relationship existing between the third-party logistic provider and their customer. We can also use that to take advantage for our products and for our company. We also can negotiate through economies of scale to bring down logistic costs and arrange for fixed pricing. Also use IoT device for visibility into the location, transfer, and the timeliness of goods. The next part, after the logistic, I think there are two more factors, that is manufacturing and demand supply management. In manufacturing products, manufacturers are constantly met with the choice between in-house production or outsourcing. This is a factor that weighs on a company infrastructure and the profitability of producing in-house as opposed to outsourcing. To gain grounds on this aspect, you need to carry out deep cost analysis, improve the efficiency of your manufacturing or supply process, create a different product development plan, and minimize production costs. In the demand supply management, it's all about how you keeping enough stock to ensure that the product gets to all the customer. Is as a result of an efficiency demand supply management. To gain competitive advantage, you have to do a lot of work. You have to make use of your company data insight to manage the inventory levels, discover knowing about the new product release, developing products to meet market trends, measuring the seasonal demand supply trends, scaling up production when demand increase, and optimizing the supply chain management. All is a lot of work, but it's very important so that you don't produce more supply than the demand. So the customer, you cannot sell all of them to the customer or lower than the demand, which will make you lose a lot of profit that you could have earned if you have more insight and you have more research do into it. So in the next part, we will talk about supply chain's competitive advantage from efficient supply chain process management, which will turn to my friend Chu Bui Tai, who will present about this part.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Hoàng. So let me carry on my friend's work to bring you guys a presentation about the advantage from the efficient supply chain process management. Okay. The main advantage here come from visibility, reducing waste, streamlining, and reducing work or duplication. There are 5 main advantage. The first one is measuring every organization throughout the supply chain to identify holdups and inefficiencies. The second one is building up supply chain improvement initiates to contracts and service level agreements with other organizations in the supply chain. The third advantage is capturing documents, metrics, contracts, and other details in the blockchain for maximum visibility and verifiability. The following advantage is about moving organizations onto a single integrated supply chain management software platform to rework manual errors or duplication of effort. And the last advantage is about using machine learning and artificial intelligence to query data sets created by supply chain processes and provide options for streamlining operations. Beside the advantage, we have to notice 2 more things, which is the first one is about the supply chain partnership. In details, supply chain partnership are poised to make or break your company's competitive advantage, as this relationship can heavily influence your supply chain sustainability, cost, and ability to adhere to timeline commitment. And as companies vie for competitive edge, suppliers are becoming increasingly choosier about who they support. So therefore, maximize good relationship with suppliers can gain competitive advantage for the company. And the other thing that we have to concern when we mention the competitive advantage for the effective supply chain process management is about the supply chain document management. The supply chain management can significantly reduce the administrative overhead to speed up document processing and streamline the production and transfer of goods. It even can reducing the burden of document management by many ways. That was the that was the that were the advantage and two things that we have to concern when we mention about the effective effective supply chain process management. Now it's about its benefit. There are many benefits of the effective supply chain management, but nowadays people are generally believe that the main advantage and the main competitive advantage of this one is all about the management. The effective management increased by supply chain efficiencies, reduce cost, harnesses cooperation, and ensure time distribution of inventories. So enhancing your supply chain is a good way to boost your business profitability. Technology has made supply chain management easier with collaboration softwares that promote relationship between companies and suppliers. Maybe the next time we are asked about how to gain supply chain competitive advantage, we will say there are only two words that we mentioned, which is which are management and technology. Because the world is evolving, so are we. In contemporary times, supply chain can be source of competitive advantage as efficient management of the supply chain leads to cost saving and synergies between the component of the supply chain, leads to greater profitability of the firm. Let's come to some real example in the world. This example is about Walmart, about what makes Walmart differentiate its rival. Walmart is one retailer that has managed its global supply chain in an adroit and efficient manner. As it operates in various countries around the world, it needs to have control over its global supply chain, and this is where the company with its focus on local capabilities and global movement and integration has made its supply chain leaner and meaner. Further, the company is obsessed with costs, so that it focuses exclusively on how to make its cost of goods sold and the logistic aspect of the supply chain efficient and effective. Apart from this, the single-minded obsession with reducing cost has paid up handsomely for the company, as it retained its number one position in the retailer market space. This mainly due to its cost effective strategies, and that translate into lower unit price for the product. Obviously, there are many who believe that the company overemphasized the cost reduction in its supply chain, and this had led to some ethical issues. However, the cost here is that in time of economic gloom, Walmart, with its aggressive approach to supply chain management, has scored over its rival, without suggesting that ethics should be discarded or ignored. The fact remains that a concentrated effort to rationalize the supply chain can pay up well for the companies. That is all about the example of Walmart. So coming up next is I will let you guys find out how to build supply chain management to become an advantage for the company. Next slide, please. Okay, there are 7 ways to build up supply chain management to become an advantage for the company. The first way is about the quality customer service. Customer have different preference, and we have to already adjust to the customer needs. Being able to provide customer unique solution make a difference entirely. Companies that actually excel in this field are the one that make an effort to learn and to invest in new technologies in order to improve customer satisfaction. The second way is about costing. The best solution to this issue would be improving your cost control by executing your plan efficiently through a constant monitoring. Through effort in providing warehouse efficiency, you would be to cut down and reducing the cost. The third way is about risk management. We always have to be prepared with a risk management plan on how your company will be able to overcome disruption during the course of operation. By hiring a logistics software development, company would be able to manage this issue effectively with less effort on the end. After all, logistic management is vital to the entire operation. The next way to drive supply chain management to become an advantage is about the supplier relationship. About the supplier relationship that we both me and Hoàng had just mentioned before. So about this way, I only provide you guys some short information, which is by building a strong working relationship with your supplier, you would be able to work efficiently and come up with a better output in short period of time. Beside the supplier relationship is about the qualified personnel. Since locating dedicated personnel to work for this field has become increasing hard to find, their market value will start to rise. Hiring and promoting through in-house staff would be the most affordable solution. The following way is unforeseen delays. We always have to buffer the stock through an efficient warehouse management system. You are able to know when you have certain material delivered, as well as create a time cushion in terms of delivery to make sure everything runs smoothly. And the last way to build supply chains to become advantage is all about fast changing market. As we all know, change is inevitable. So the way we adapt to change is definitely something we need to manage by using logistic management software, and we are able to move with the flow and improve our output as a whole. That was all of our presentation about how to all about the supply chain management. Thank you for listening, and please give us a good mark. Thank you.